Today on the grid, it is lighting Q&A day. So if you've got flash questions or lighting questions or strobe questions or just questions about the universe, today is the day for you. Our special in-studio guest is Lenworth Johnson, the man, the myth, the legend. And we're going to see some really cool lighting software today as well. Erik Kuna is here, complete with the sniffles and other bad stuff. But to offset that, we've got some really cool giveaways to some folks watching the show live today. It is going to be, what I predict, a fun day on the grid. And it all starts in just 23.2 seconds. Let's go!
The grid is brought to you by Platy Pod, the tripod alternative that is changing the world. Everybody has a Platy Pod. You should too. Go to platypod.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to another live episode of The Grid. Must be Wednesday around 1 o'clock-ish on the East Coast. Scott Kelby here, Erik's here, but we got a special guest.
The man.
The myth.
The legend.
The man. He is the man twice. He gets the man twice. Which is, Lenworth is here.
Great.
You know, you come up a lot on The Grid, just in general converson. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think we talked about you last week.
Yeah, something last week.
Yeah, you come up. Look at this. He's a really, really good photographer. I follow him in the weirdest place. I follow you on LinkedIn.
Oh yeah,
that's a good place.
I know it just
Where
seems like an
professionals
odd. I know it just seems like an odd place, but this is a sample of his stuff. But he's a really, really great. Your beauty stuff is so good, really, really good. But you can do anything. He can shoot all kinds of neat portraits and stuff.
Yeah.
And, let's look at some of his beauty stuff. Look at this beauty stuff. Dude, we need to get some of this beauty stuff on your homepage.
Yeah.
You got one shot, I think, from your beauty collection.
Yeah.
You know what else, too? We're going to have to talk after this because I follow you, right? I see all your stuff. You've got better stuff than is showing on that beauty portfolio.
I know. This is my new website, and I'm in the process of
updating.
Okay.
Because I'm telling you,
there's some new stuff coming.
Okay, good. Because I'm telling you, you got some stuff that's absolutely killer. Anyway, we're glad to have you here. Lenworth is in town doing some classes for KelbyOne, which is awesome. So we asked him, hey, you're here. You have to be on the grid.
It's a requirement.
It is a requirement. Yeah. No, it's not really. It's but we want you on the grid.
I saw it in the fine print.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
I really doubt that.
I've seen our contracts.
No.
They're like, they're a mess. Yeah. Anyway, so I doubt there's anything in there. I doubt any of it's properly spelled. Anyway, we have all kinds of stuff.
I think we have Grammarly.
We have Grammarly? I have
so.
Grammarly. I pay for it. I don't actually use it. Yeah. All right. So what's going on? We have all kinds of stuff going on. First off, today is lighting Q&A day. So we're going to be talking about lighting and flash and any questions you have along those lines.
So I'll ask them questions. Or if you have a question about like lighting Milky Way scenes, then yeah.
He used lighting too.
I do use lighting, yes.
If in next week's show I'm not here because Kuna gave me his cold, I'm going to be so cranked. If I'm like, oh, Scott's not here because he's not feeling well, I'm going to be just,
It is what it is.
But he's sniffly and congestioned and whatever bad stuff that he has. So let's just, you too, if you get sick.
I'm calling in.
Yeah,
call me.
Oh yeah, we're going to be
I'm calling in.
We're going to, it's going to be bad. Anyway, but Lenworth is here. We're going to lean on Lenworth. That's what we should have called this day. Lean on Lenworth Day. Oh. That would have been we could have made shirts and everything.
Yeah, that sounds good.
We'd have thought
lean
about
on
it.
Me.
Yeah, and then so if you've got questions, he's got answers.
There you go.
He's really good at lighting. So we thought, let's take advantage of this.
Well, you know what else we have?
Giveaways?
We got a bunch of giveaways.
Yes,
so
we do.
Better get started.
What are we giving away today? We have some lighting-related stuff we're giving away.
This could be lighting related.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can do your little macro lights with this. The Loosey Goosey Platy Pod goosenecks.
Loosey Goosey.
And those are good.
Yeah, so that's great if you wanted to like right there in the picture.
Yeah.
Want to attach some lights. Then we're going to be giving away a copy of Scott's book, How to Do That.
I have news about this book.
In Photoshop.
I have news
about
this book.
Might be off the boat.
Yes, it is off the boat. It just hit
the boat.
Rocky Nook's warehouse, I think, yesterday.
Great.
So we've been waiting for this book for I don't know, since 2021 or something.
There you go.
No, but you know what?
It's a slow ship.
It actually has a lot of...
slow ship.
You know what it has in there? You're going to be shocked that this is in there. Because I was surprised, because I wrote it so long ago. You know what's in there? Generative fill.
Yeah.
I got it in there.
I remember that.
I know.
We had to go like last minute and like rewrite
Right, and
stuff.
rewrite, added a whole new
Yeah,
chapter
I
on
have to deal with
generative
that
fill.
side of the business,
So it
yeah.
actually hasn't been out that long. But anyway, so it'll be going to Amazon Warehouse next. So if you pre-ordered the book, it's coming soon. If you haven't, it's not too late. Run over to Amazon or Barnes & Noble or wherever you buy books and go ahead and grab yourself a copy.
All right, and then we're giving away a copy of Scott's Adobe Photoshop book for digital photographers. So you can get that as well over on Amazon, but somebody's going to win it today.
Great
on the
book.
show.
Look at that. It's so expensive, but someone will win it for free. It's really not that expensive. It's $39.
Yes.
It's a good investment.
Yeah.
It is a good investment.
It's a great investment.
That book is for people who want to learn Photoshop from the ground up. Like if you're like, because somebody asked me last week, what book should I get? And I go, well, I'm glad you asked. But that would be the one. That's like starting from scratch.
Are you
All
signing it?
I'll sign it, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't mind.
I
Sign
mean,
it.
if they want.
Yeah, if they want.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, please don't deface my book.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
for the ones that don't mind being defaced.
I
then
should bring all mine back to get them signed. 'Cause I have
Yeah.
a bunch of
Anytime.
books.
Anytime. All right, so we're giving away a copy of On One No Noise 2023. Love this plugin for removing noise
Me
and
too.
adding sharpening into your photos. And there's my photo right there. That was
Yep.
Jason's right next to me, over to the left over there.
Is he?
He's got his camera like down in the bushes because Jason loves to do like
Yeah.
he loves to do like that really.
Was that before he fell into the cactus?
Yeah,
That
he's
was-
a cacti guy, right?
No,
He
that
is.
was that? I think that was the day before he
Oh,
fell into
that's
the
a
cactus.
shame. So he was
I
still
believe.
picking the little spurs out
Oh,
of
I mean, we had tweezers out, picking them out of his head. I mean, it was pretty bad.
ouch.
All right. And then we're going to give away a copy or a V-flat from V-flat World. So one V-flat from V-flat World. These are awesome. I mean, being able to fold up a V-flat
Yep.
and put it in your car, amazing.
I have two of those.
There
really
you go.
good.
Yeah, aren't they great?
Yep.
Yeah, we have them in
Now,
our studio.
this is for U.S. shipping only, so you just got to have a U.S. shipping address to win this one. But everybody can win over at V-flat World by using the code Kelby10 at checkout, and they save 10%.
Yay.
And then last week we showed Retouch for Me. They're giving away again their eye bundle, which is that eye vessels and eye brilliance. They showed it in the show last week. And everybody can get 20%.
Have you seen this stuff?
Have you
No,
seen
I
this?
need, I need to check it
Oh
out.
my gosh, this is Lenworth. We got to show you this after the show.
I need to
This
check
stuff
this
is-
out.
I mean, this
whatever you've seen
mind-blowing.
that does retouching, whatever plugin you've ever seen, just picture 5 steps above that.
Yeah. Oh,
that's
wow.
this. This is all AI based,
But
and
it's
it is-
non-destructive inside of Photoshop.
Oh, and it's unbelievable.
It's like it does these masks, especially the dodging and burning.
And you're able to make adjustments?
Yes.
yeah,
Oh,
but you're not going to need to make
You
adjustments.
won't.
Wow.
I mean, you will look
That's-
at it and
that's
be
the
like,
thing.
oh my
You're-
gosh.
You're going to be stunned.
Oh, wow.
telling
Anyways.
you,
I
it's-
need that now.
It's
There you
crazy,
go.
just unbelievable.
So you can get a 20% discount on that using the promo code KelbyOne20. And I believe they were on the show last week and said that their deal starts this week. And actually that KelbyOne20 is now giving 30%.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you just got to go to that website, www.promo.retouch4.me.
So what's interesting about these, Lenworth, is you buy just the plugin you want. You want just eyes, just skin, just dodging and burning. They're separate. There's not a bundle. We did talk to them about making a bundle.
They should make it.
Yeah.
I know.
Well,
we talked to
there
them.
you go. One more person, guys.
Yeah.
You
Reach
can,
out
you
for me,
can go
guys.
try them for free. You
Come
can
on.
download them and, you know.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
but definitely, you definitely check that out.
Yeah,
if
I
you're
will.
retouching,
Legit.
if you're into
It's-
portraits, I mean, it was
Yeah.
amazing.
Like I could
And-
see professional retouchers using this.
Yeah.
Like seriously.
Well, what it'd
And I
do,
think
too,
they're
is-
priced at that professional market.
What I
Okay.
could see you doing is you're going to do your same workflow, but you could charge your same hours, but it ain't going to take you that long.
Yeah, because
Right.
you're
It's
cutting
gonna
your
take you
time
that
down.
long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, you're cutting
Oh,
your time
cut-
down, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, you'll see, it's
It's
just
amazing.
crazy.
That's
okay.
cool.
All right.
All right,
So
what
there
else
go.
we got?
So to enter those, all you got to do is
Yeah.
leave us a comment anywhere
Or a
that
question.
you're watching, a question or comment, and tell us what you'd like to win. And then we do want your questions, so make sure you're asking your questions over there about lighting, about anything to do with lighting in general for photography.
Yeah. All right. Well, just a couple of little housekeeping things. We've got the Rocky Nook event coming up in, I don't know, a week and a half.
Yeah, 8th and 9th.
November 8th and 9th is coming up. And it is, so is Rocky Nook are the people that publish my books. They publish my How Do I Do That
Yeah.
in Photoshop book, this book right here, same company that makes those. A bunch of their authors, including myself and Joe McNally and Lindsay Adler and Roberto Valenzuela, and a number of them are going to be at this conference called the Art and Craft of Photography. It's an all online conference, and And Chris Orwig and Ibarianex.
Chris Knight.
Ibarianex, by the way, best voice in photography.
Oh, yeah.
Best voice. Do you know Ibarianex?
Yes.
Is he got the greatest
He's
voice?
been on here before.
Yeah.
But dude, his voice is, it's so warm. It's so, oh God, his
He
voice
got
is
that
like,
voice, you know.
yeah. I told him, stay away from my wife. Just like, he would see her at Photoshop World, and I like to like,
Yeah.
don't get, because that voice, women melt. It's just, it's unbelievable. Okay, next up. All right, I had a guy on my Facebook page, nice guy, didn't say anything bad, but what he said was, I think it deserves an explanation, rather than just answering back, which on social media, it's hard to
Translate, like,
yeah, it comes across
convey
harder.
emotions,
Right.
convey your feelings.
So here's what it was. Guy says, I wrote a thing this week, in case you're interested in reading it, called 100 Ways Lightroom Still Kicks the Bridge's Ass. Now, I had done it 11 years before.
Which there could probably be 1,000 ways, but you just did with 100.
They did all these improvements to Bridge, and it's still at least 100 and something behind. So I listed them all over on LightroomKillerTips.com.
All right.
And I put it on Facebook and said, hey, I did this. And, people were thanking me and, oh, I didn't know this, or they learned about some features they didn't realize, whatever.
Right.
And then a guy says, I can't afford the software. I wish they would sell it like they used to. I can't afford the monthly subscription. I wish they would sell Photoshop and Lightroom like they used to.
For the price of coffee?
That's what I'm saying. Look, if you cannot afford $10 a month, using Photoshop and Lightroom should not be your major concern. You need a second job or something.
Especially with, like you just said, if you just
Like-
go buy coffee.
All right.
Yeah.
But let's just say this. Let's say that Adobe did bring it back. You could buy Photoshop and Lightroom. The two of them together were $950.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is, Scott, I have $950 and then the $150 every 18 months to upgrade. But I don't have $10 a month. I wanted to say that on Facebook, but it's just writing it all out. It's like,
Is it worth it?
yeah, but come on, $10
But
a month.
and I think that's what people forget is when you could buy it. To
It
buy it,
was
it was
$950.
almost $1,000
I remember it was
bucks. And then you had to
expensive.
upgrade,
$7.99 for
and you had to pay
Photoshop.
the upgrades.
Pay
and
the upgrade
I mean,
cost, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, technically, could you argue like over the lifetime, it's going to be similar. Those costs are going to
Look,
be similar.
Here's the thing: your software is going to get outdated
Well, and then you
in
can
3
update
months.
it. Yeah.
In 3 months, because they announce new stuff about every 3 months. So, hey, just saw a nice comment. Oh well, you know what? We ought to take a break before we do commenting time. Of course, I have no idea if it's break time because we don't have the clock up today. This show,
Yeah, it's always break
this
time.
show,
It's always break
this
time
show
with
can
us.
run an unlimited amount of time. I'm telling my crew that. Lenworth, prepared to be here for a while because since there is no clock, we don't know when we're supposed to end.
No
Okay, that's
stop.
good.
Just
No sleep, no
prepare.
Brooklyn today.
I have a late flight, so that's fine.
Oh, late flight. Perfect.
right.
Stick around. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
And after this, we're going to start taking your questions, which are already coming in on Lighting Q&A Day. We'll be right back.
Well, you know who looking like this for real. Well, you know who looking like that. Well, you know who looking like this for real. Well, you know who looking like that.
Have you ever had a client that wants you to recreate different images? Well, come join my class, and in this class you'll learn different tips on how to recreate those inspirational images, because at some point in your career you will get asked to recreate lighting from someone else's images, and now you got to go and dissect that image and figure out the lighting for it. So what we'll do in this class, we'll go over how to dissect the images, the gear we use, the modifiers we use, camera settings, and to just kind of guide you through the process so you can make a bunch of money. So you should come check this class out. Come join me in my latest class at KelbyOne.com.
everybody, and welcome to beautiful London, England, where I'm doing a very, very special class. I'm very excited about this class because it's something very different, very unique. It's about creating travel photography that has a personal connection to something you love. So that's the whole idea, because think about it, a lot of people will go to a city again and again, like we're here in London. I've been coming to London since I was 24 years old. So for the last 10 years, I've been coming to London. Anyway, long story short is, I've got the shots of Big Ben and I've got the shots of the London Eye and the Thames River and all that stuff. I've got it to death. But when I come to London, I can do something special. I can use something that I care about and then go and shoot it, and that becomes my story when I get back. So I'm shooting for a passion that I have. So my passion might be flowers, so I come to London and what I'm shooting are all the amazing gardens. What if my passion is museums? Well, there's 170 of them here. What if it's music? I could be at the Royal Albert Hall or the great music stores or the places where the Beatles played back in the day or where they literally bought their guitars. I could do a whole story on all that kind of stuff. And that's what this class is about, is taking something you love and adding it to something else you love. You're marrying travel and your interests and photography. It's a hit. So you got to come and watch my brand new class. It's on creating personal connection in your travel images, and it's only here at KelbyOne.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by B&H Photo, the professional source since 1973.
Hey, we're back. Scott and Eric with our special guest Lenworth here in the studio. So Lenworth, how do you feel about showing us this software?
Real good.
He's got some
Already?
cool software. Tell us what the software
Yeah,
does.
speaking of lighting.
Let's take a look at it and we're going to hit some questions.
So it's how to set a light 3D. It's a lighting simulator. You can use it to kind of pre-visualize your lighting before you actually do your shoot. So you can get a sense of what is to be done and how you can move your lights around. So this that you're looking at is actually my home studio, which is set up in my garage. So this is pretty much what it looks like. My computer is normally over here, and these are my lighting, so you can see. Do I have control of this?
Is it out? Is this?
Yeah, it's not going. Right?
Oh, there we go.
So yeah, as you can see, rolls of paper on the wall, the beauty dish, have a 1x3 here, so you can kind of see what it does. It's not allowing me to rotate it here.
Yeah, well, sometimes the problem is because you are broadcasting out to the HDMI, sometimes it gets a little weird. I've noticed certain programs do that.
But pretty much, as you can see, you can set your lights. You have your camera set in 1/125 where it have f11, ISO 100. You can even add an ND filter, full frame, 4x3, 24-105. And you can choose your lighting, modifiers here. You can add modifiers,
you
can do stuff. So whatever you want, you have speed lights, you have octas. So whatever you want, you can add it on there, move it around. There's also, for those of you who want to do continuous light, we have that here too. So there's a bunch of stuff you can do. You have helpers here. So you have your white seamless, you have a cove. So you can add your stuff in. You have reflectors. So whatever you want, you can add it on there and make, kind of simulate your shoot. You have props, you can change your model. So it's all up to you to figure out how to
if you want to see their face,
Yeah. So you can get in that, and over here in this panel, this is what the camera is seeing. So like here, it's showing you your, 30, so you can see that. You can adjust your camera, you can move it, around. So you're pretty much in control of your light. You can turn your light up. Adjust your camera, turn the light down, just like you would at the, so there you go.
Yeah, so
you're adjusting the brightness. So now you're at 132. You can go all the way down, you're at 164. And you can add your own lights to this software. So if you're using ProPhoto, you can add your ProPhoto lights.
Oh, that's cool.
Like I have my Godox set up in there because that's what I mainly use. So if I want to change my models, I can add, add a new model here, and I can change the face. I can add the hair, the clothing. You can do all that stuff. So it's pretty intuitive, and it's really easy to use. So this is the way I'm setting up, kind of pre-visualizing all my lighting before I get into studio, so I can see what it does. So when I get in studio, I'm just fine-tuning stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
So that's an approximation of your studio.
Yeah.
In your studio, do the lights float in the air like that, or
No,
does your beauty dish float?
No, you can turn the stands off.
Oh, so you can.
Yeah,
have those
yeah,
stands
yeah.
up?
You can turn the stands off in here. So if you don't want the stand, you can just turn them off or, and on. It's where is it? Somewhere here that you can turn them off. You can turn the lights off too. You can change stuff. So it's up to you. If you want to have all the stands showing,
Oh yeah.
you can have them showing. But I like to just keep it clean.
Oh sure, yeah.
Yeah.
That is very
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Do you know how much it costs? I'm sure you do.
I don't remember how much it costs. I'm on the
You're on the beta team?
no, the lower end version, which I think it was like 169.
Oh, okay.
And they have another version which is a little more expensive. So it's not going to break the bank,
Right.
but it's really good.
Yeah, but I like that for what you're talking about,
Yeah.
is being able to pre-visualize and then just tweak when you go in.
Yeah.
That's what, in my planning, I do kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just I'm planning with the sun or the moon and the Milky Way and
Yeah.
pre-visualizing that stuff, and then going out and just tweaking out in the field.
Yeah.
And it's nice that's where I'm a big fan of doing this kind of work.
Mm-hmm.
Your photography will get better if you plan and then go execute, rather
Yeah,
than
of
just
course.
walking in and going, I'm just going to move stuff around.
I'll put
Yeah.
a light here.
Oh,
We'll
put
see how
a
it
light
looks.
here, see how it looks.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's how, when you're professional, you plan.
Yeah.
When you're an amateur, you just kind of go around
wing
and
it.
move stuff
Yeah,
around.
Yeah, you wing it.
Because I'll tell you, this was a big part of why my lighting game changed. When I heard about this software, I tried it. I was like, okay, play with it. Then I got it. I was like, okay, so I can actually tweak stuff. I can try some creative stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And it helps with your lighting game. So if you want to up your game, I would suggest, get the software. You can test it out. I think they have a 30-day trial, and
That's
then
pretty
you
good.
can pay for it.
Well, and it's nice too when pre-visualizing and being able to do that kind of
Yeah.
stuff too. You'll probably also be able to communicate better with your clients
Yeah.
about like what you're trying to get out of this and what looks you're trying to get, and tweaking stuff
Yeah.
beforehand, so you don't walk in and you're getting something that they don't even want.
Yeah. So you can also
Yeah, like you're
export
doing
it.
there, yeah.
And it comes with all your settings, and you can move them around. So you can put them like anywhere you want them. So you can send this to your team, like somebody
That's
else working with
awesome.
you,
Yeah.
and you can change the view of,
So you can
however
have your
you want.
PA,
Yeah.
Just hand your PA like, here's how I need it set
Yeah.
up.
And this, they can see exactly, okay, this is how he wants
neat.
it.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
nice.
It's
I
really
like that.
cool.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Very cool. Well, thank you for showing that. Got some comments coming in here.
Yeah, and so we got I can't see the name on that top one.
Tony? Oh, no, there
no.
it is. Larry H.
Larry H. Larry H is saying a KelbyOne membership and Adobe Photoshop Lightroom are both bargains, right?
Agreed.
Agreed. Absolutely.
Hey, Paul Kober says, hello from Holland, Michigan. We love Lenworth. And KelbyOne.
Hello, Paul.
Best learning and so many classes on lighting. We do have a lot of
We have a
classes
lot
on
of
lighting.
classes.
Number one, we have a lot of classes with Joe McNally, who
The
is
magical unicorn.
the magical unicorn of lighting. And I've done for people who are like brand new to Flash and stuff. I've done beginner courses. I've done classes just using one
Just one
light.
flash,
I've done a
yeah.
lot of them doing just studio lighting, and I've also done classes that are just a particular look, and where I'm just showing you how I do light it, shoot it, retouch it. It's one look, and then we retouch it. And I've got just a ton of them, but yeah, I'm not the only one. We probably have more lighting classes than anyone on earth. We've got just a ton of them. I'll bet you we have literally, I'm not exaggerating, you're going to think I'm just, I'm making a number. I bet we have over 200.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you definitely just consider lighting in general.
Yeah, I mean
yes,
everything,
definitely.
flash, lighting, all
Yeah,
that stuff,
definitely.
So because it doesn't matter what kind of light you have,
Yeah,
right? It's
light's
like
light.
you can make great shots with ProPhoto, you can make great shots with Godox, and those are two very far end of the spectrum of lighting, but people make great photos with all of them.
Just
So
a
it's
bright flash of light.
a bright flash of light. You can make them great with a little handheld flash, like a off-camera flash or a hot shoe flash, or you can use a big 1200 watt strobe. They all make a bright flash of light. All right, Tony had a question there. That was a good one. I love his question here. Tony Mitchell is talking about the subscription versions. If they didn't happen, I'd still be using Photoshop Elements.
Wow.
Is
Is that still a thing?
It is still a thing. But can I tell you something about
Still a
Elements?
thing.
Because I've written books on Elements. I for years and years and years, I have a book that is a version of that book that I do for Elements, right? But I strip out, all the stuff that Elements doesn't have. Can I tell you something? You're not going to believe this. I believe and I feel like Elements is harder to learn than actually Photoshop is.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Elements has got a lot to it, and by trying to make things easy, I think that they made things more
It actually went
complex.
the opposite direction.
I think that Elements is actually more complex. It's very cheap. It's inexpensive. The reason why it's inexpensive is they want you to finally go, why am I buying this? Why don't I just get Photoshop, which is easier? Which is easier.
And Lightroom.
Yeah, so there we go. All right, Jim's got a question. It's about this
So
this
the-
Yes,
program.
this-
the
cost.
program. So will the program let you see constant light and flashlight?
Yes.
That is added to the constant lights? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And the actual cost for the basic is $84, and the studio version is $169.
Oh, okay.
They actually have a sale now.
And now, are
so
you just using the basic version?
I'm using the basic.
So $84.
Yeah. Because
Oh, that's pretty good.
I start with the
Yeah.
basic, and I was like, this is actually good. I don't think I need the studio version.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
tend
called,
to-
what
I
is
tend to
it
do the
called?
same thing.
Satellite? Is that the
Start
name
off
of the?
Satellite.
and then
It's
move
it's
up.
by Excellier Software. It's a French company that does it.
Very nice, right? $84. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So let's see. Bill M., what are the situations when artificial lighting can enhance your landscape shots?
It's just one. It's
Well,
just what you do it.
I do it. Milky Way is definitely light painting.
That's
no
the-
light.
That's
low
the
light.
only situation I can think of.
I have used it in twilight is the other time. When you can counterbalance the sun easily, that's when continuous. I mean, you could use flash to counterbalance, but I wouldn't. But it's low light. It really is. It's low light. I use it all the time for Milky Way. Honestly, low light
Yeah,
Milky Way.
you're doing light painting to light the foreground.
I mean, that's what I was doing. I think I showed it just a couple weeks ago. Like, just taking little dim lights and lighting up a marsh, and then the Milky Way is behind it. I don't know if I even have that. Like,
I got a good question here when you're done for Lenworth. I'm curious what he thinks about this.
Is it good?
It's a trick question. No, it's
well,
not.
anyways, yeah. I mean, that's all it is. Just kissing it with a little bit of light, and then it's just light. You're just
Yeah.
adding light into the scene. As long as that light is color balanced, just like you would color balance a flash.
Yes.
Right. I mean, if you're lighting up the foreground with your headlamp that's all bright blue light coming out, the whole foreground's going to be tinted blue.
Yeah.
But if I color balance that to the scene, just like you would color balance the scene there, it works the same way. Light is light.
Yeah.
Is light. It's just light.
Yeah.
Is light.
I think folks need to learn to see light, and how do you do that? Like, maybe walk around your house, look where the shadows are, and
Yeah.
then try to use that, and then you will start learning light. So everywhere you go, then you'll be like, oh, now I get it.
And that's why I actually think if you want to learn light, work at night.
Yeah.
Or work in dark environments, because you can really see the impact of light very quickly when you're in a dimly lit environment.
Yes.
When you can see, ooh, that key light is casting that shadow,
Yes.
and I can clearly see it. It
And
clicks.
see where it's coming from. Yes.
So Scott is asking.
This is the one I wanted to hear what
Yeah,
Lenworth thinks
so
about
I'm in
this.
the UK and was wondering what you would recommend as a good basic setup: 1, 2, 3 speed lights, or are we moving towards LED setups?
So my question to you, and this is from Scott's question, do you think we're moving towards LED setups yet? Do you think that they're really there yet, or are we getting close?
They have some work to do, because I don't think LEDs are bright enough for some situations.
Yeah.
So I would still go with flash. I don't use much LEDs, just to, if I'm doing little video stuff, I'll, turn the LEDs on. But yeah, I would go with flash, Because I think there's still some work to do as far as LED goes.
Yeah, and you know what? You'll turn it on and you'll think it's really bright until you try to make a picture,
Yeah,
and you
like,
realize your shutter speed's
wow.
like 1/100th of a second, which
Yes.
means if your subject moves, it's going to blur.
Yes.
And I think that people forget that one of the great things about using flash or studio strobe is it freezes the motion.
Yes.
It freezes your camera motion. It freezes the subject's motion. They can dance, they can do whatever, and it freezes them just like that.
And
Your
allows you to stay at a very low ISO.
Yes, and
A
that's the other
low
thing.
ISO.
The second thing I was going to say was, if you want to use LEDs, they're nice because it's what you see is what you get. But you've got to get your ISO up so high.
Or bring those lights so close to your subject.
To try to get them bright.
Yeah.
It's just, they're just not, and everybody says they're getting brighter. They are getting brighter.
Yes.
I used to shoot in the studio with the spider lights from Westcott. They were continuous fluorescent bulbs. It has 5 bulbs in a big softbox.
Yeah.
They were great for product photography because your products don't move. You put a wine bottle there, it's not going anywhere.
It's staying there.
And you're shooting on a tripod, but you're
Good
shooting
point.
people where
Good
you're
point.
hand holding
Yeah.
and they're moving, forget about it. Then it was your crank and your ISO. You're shooting at 1600 ISO in the studio. And the studio is someplace you should be able to shoot at 100 ISO. So
Yeah.
I'm with you, Lenworth.
Yeah.
Now, to answer Scott's question about the basic 1, 2, 3, Scott, do not go buy 3 flashes. Do not go buy 2 flashes. Go buy 1 flash.
Master
Just
that.
1 flash. And actually, there may be a point where you buy a second, but don't buy a third. Unless you're thinking of that third as only to light the background or something. But you can get so many of the best portraits you've ever seen are done with 1 light.
1 light.
Yeah.
So just keep it
And
simple.
that's what it comes down to is like master. That's what we
One.
do as photographers. It's the same thing with all our different genres. Like master that 1 flash
Yeah.
and then move to 2. But you
Maybe.
probably won't move to 2,
Maybe.
to your point,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you'll be like, I'm good.
Yeah,
I
I'm
love this
so
one.
good with
Yeah.
1 flash. I
But
do
we
most
think
of my
we need,
studio
the
stuff
thing
with
that's
1.
going to unlock my photography is I get that second
No,
one, and
no.
suddenly it's going to be better.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you haven't even mastered the first one.
Yeah. Frank Doerhoff, who is a Dutch lighting expert. By the way, many classes from
Yes.
Frank Doerhoff on KelbyOne.
He's
yeah.
excellent.
I've learned a ton of stuff from Frank. He's
yeah.
a lighting hero and just a super great guy. Frank has a saying. He says, if you think you need 2 lights, get 1. If you think you need 3 lights, get 1. If you think you need 4 lights, maybe you could consider a second one, but just get 1 light. I mean, Frank's always, and what Frank gets out of 1 light is ridiculous. And the nice thing about it is 1 light is easy. It is exactly 100% less money than 2 lights. So you're saving a bunch of money. You're going to get great results. Put the money into your softbox.
And then you're going to put, I was about to say, then you're going to put the money into your accessories, your softbox.
Yeah.
You're going to
Grid
get bounce and
stuff.
fills.
Yes.
And, that's where you're going to, like, you
V-flat.
can really, yeah.
Right.
Yes, guys, I've
right.
shot stuff with 1 light, and you would think it's 4 lights.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just by using fill and bounce and
Yep.
know how to position
All that other
light.
stuff. Your
yes.
reflector becomes your second light, or
Yeah.
if you're shooting outside, the sun becomes your backlight.
Yeah.
Hey, James Gordon Patterson was asking a similar question.
Yeah.
What about lighting with continuous light? I think we've kind of answered that, but we got more questions coming in. Remember, when you ask a question, you're automatically entered to win. So ask your question, then tell us what you want to win, because we're going to be choosing winners here in just a little while. But it's time for a break. Coming up next, we're going to answer more of your questions. And that's all happening live here on Lean on Lenworth Day.
Lean on Lenworth Day.
You got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion, just my kind of heat. Keep it on repeat. Testify devotion, loving is devotion. Ooh, that sugar.
Hi, I'm Karen Hutton. Join me for how to plan a trip to a location you've never visited. Whether you're an expert photographer, you plan trips, but it still makes you nervous, maybe you haven't planned a trip, or maybe you just wish you could. Whether you're flying, whether you're driving, whether you're taking a train or some other mode of transportation, you'll learn how to decide, develop, dedicate, and dig in to create the adventure of your dreams, whether it's a long trip or just an afternoon. We're also going to cover where you got to be on the inside and how you have to train to maximize your time, your money, and your effort on your next adventure. So join me on my next class at KelbyOne.com.
You bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead, just watch the shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool.
Well, you know who looking like this for real. Well, you know who looking like that. Well, you know who looking like this for real. Well, you know who looking like that.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Canon.
Hey, we are back. Thanks for the count in.
Yeah.
10. 10, we're back. All right, anyway.
All right, we got some questions.
If you're
Tons
just
of
joining
questions
us
over
here, we've got Lenworth Johnson with us, and he's a KelbyOne instructor and a beauty photographer, but he does all kinds of portraits and beauty and stuff. And it's open question for lighting day. So flash, lighting, strobes. We'll answer other questions as well. What do we got?
So Mark's asking, when shooting with camera strobes through an umbrella, how can you spread the light to the max? By sliding it up as close as possible to the umbrella or sliding it away? Thanks for all you do. So
Yeah.
basically asking like with
Yeah,
an
I know,
umbrella.
I got it.
Like, you know.
Yeah, because you can slide the
Yeah.
the
Should I
umbrella
pull it
hole.
close
lets you
or should I
slide
put
it.
it farther away?
So when it's close, it's more focused. You pull it away, you get a wider
And
spread.
it fills
Yeah.
more of the umbrella.
So
It's
Now-
a
in that
little
case,
softer
wider
when it's
away.
wider away.
In the meantime, get rid of that umbrella. Mark, stop shooting with an umbrella. Go get a Westcott Rapid Box, which folds up like an umbrella, but it actually makes a soft box, and it's easier to control the light. I mean, it's why soft boxes are so popular. I always think of an umbrella because the umbrella kind of spills a lot of light, where your soft box is going to be, it's very directional, it's more contained. And I know that umbrellas are inexpensive. You can buy an umbrella for $35. And it's going
But
to be
that Rapid
100
box
it's gonna
isn't
be
that
100
much
It's going
more.
to be 135
Yeah.
for the Rapid Box. But I'm telling you, you will love the difference it makes.
Yeah.
And so dump the umbrellas. Plus, the umbrella makes you look like you're a high school portrait photographer, like you're doing your
And Mark, you're
photos.
beyond that.
You're beyond that, Mark. You don't want to be.
Yeah, if you're worried,
Doing
if
senior
you're
portraits,
asking about that
you know,
stuff, you're
yearbook.
beyond it. Let's go get a soft
Yeah,
box.
let's go get a soft box.
All right,
what else? we got?
Scott's asking, hello from Corpus Christi, Texas. Recommendations on filters to use when shooting a solar eclipse. Too much conflicting information, which I agree. I whisked out a few weeks ago, but we'll be past April 2024. Yes, you'll be right in the path. It's going to go right through Texas again, right up through the Midwest, over towards the top Canada, the Northwest. So anybody can capture that in 2024. There is a lot of conflicting information on this. I'll take this question if you want.
No, I want to cover this one.
So,
Solar eclipses are my thing.
so there is a lot of conflicting information out there. What you have to realize is everybody is going to recommend the thing that is the safest, and that is, if you want the safest, go get a solar filter. However, I have shot many of eclipses without a solar filter. You have to have the reduction of light enough to not damage your sensor, which usually is about 16, 17, 18 stops. I shot one just a couple weeks ago, the one that you missed out on, with a 10 stop and a 6 stop in front of my cell phone, and it worked just fine.
Wow.
I shot a 10 stop and a 6 stop in front of my mirrorless, and it did not damage the sensor. You just need to have enough reduction of light. But if you want to be safe, go get a solar filter. The other thing is you can go to B&H and just get solar film. I've shot with solar film before. Just know, as long as you're reducing the light enough to where you're not going to be sending that into your camera. And you got to also realize too, that people don't realize, like versus telescopes, cameras already have UV filters in them. The lenses that you're using have a UV filter. Your camera has an IR cut filter. Those things are already in your camera. That's why we can shoot the sun every day of the week. You're shooting a portrait and you have the sun behind you and you get the sun flare. If it was going to damage your sensor, it would damage your sensor. It's not going to, people. If you're going to constantly shoot the sun over a long period of time, get a solar filter. If you want a picture of the eclipse every so often, just reduce the light enough. 16 stops, 17 stops, 18 stops. Or if you got 2 10 stops, put them together, you're at 20 stops. You'll be fine.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. All right. Calligraphy has a question.
When shooting in the studio with no windows using strobes, should the lights in the room be off for portrait photography?
Okay, so generally we do that. We always turn the lights off so you don't get any ambient light that spills into your photo. But truth be told, you're probably not going to get any ambient light. Your flash is going to override the ambient light. So I keep the lights low. I don't make them off. I don't turn all the lights off. But a lot of times, like, we have to do a class, right? And our video team is going to set up their own video lights, which kind of drives me crazy. Because, here's why. Because when you're testing everything,
you can't like see the model light.
Yeah, you don't see
the
that.
modeling lamp.
So there is a thing called a modeling lamp that is inside nice high-end strobes. They're not really, they call it a modeling lamp on flashes, but it just goes, and they're really annoying. But a nice, strobe, it has a modeling light. The modeling light allows you to kind of set up your light and kind of get a preview of what the light's going to do. You move it around, okay, and then you fire the flash. It's very hard to see the modeling light in a room with all the lights on. So, I mean, there are some advantages to having it lower, and all that stuff. It is not absolutely necessary, but dim light does help you with the modeling lights. And
what
so,
I noticed when you guys are in the studio, usually you have like a very dim, like ambient light when we're not shooting. Just a dim light. So you guys can actually, it's not dark like black.
You don't want to trip and trip over your tripod leg or something.
It's not pitch black. But
it's lower light.
That ambient light also help the eyes. So, sometimes I'll just turn one on just to dilate the eyes a bit, so it shows up much better.
There's one more thing. Are you ready for this? If it's too dark in your studio, if all your lights are out and you're shooting strobes, how's your camera going to focus? If it can't see the subject, it can't focus on it. So low lights or modeling lights will help you be able. Now, I've been in situations. I remember I was on the road doing a tour, and it was we turn off all the lights in the convention center ballroom where we're shooting, and sometimes my camera would not focus, and my assistant would take his iPhone, turn on the light, the flashlight on the phone, so I could focus, and then he'd turn it off and I'd take the shot. But if you have a little ambient light in the room, that's not going to be a problem. So I would say, to answer your question, low light is good and helpful.
Low light and the modeling lights are helpful.
You do not have to. You do not have to.
It's not going to hurt you.
Not going to kill you. All right.
Jack C's asking, how functional would an LED as filling outside when the shutter speed would be high?
So you're doing high speed?
I guess just like using it. See, because if you're doing high speed, an LED is not really going to affect it too much because it's so dim, right? It's just
I don't
so
know if
dim.
it would. I know
don't think it would
everybody
do
wants
much
to.
anything.
I know everybody wants to. All these questions about LED. I know that you want to use them, and I know the advantage. The fact that you can, what you see is what you get. You hold the camera up and you see it. It's great. And is it moving in that direction? Yeah. Are we there yet? No. But a lot of things are changing over to LED. A lot of things are. I mean, obviously our homes and things are, but concert lighting is using a lot of LEDs where they didn't use them before. You know, there's a lot of things that are moving that direction. I don't think we're there yet. I think it's moving that. Believe me, every lighting manufacturer is working on how do I make a brighter light.
There's even LED strobes now.
I know, but right. But can I tell you something? When you have a very, very, very bright LED in the studio, it's not wonderful for your subjects because it is a bright light.
Like a headlight. It's like a
picture like the
xenon
light
headlight.
from your dentist when they're working on your teeth on you the whole time. It's just, I'd rather have that little pop of flash. Like, I don't know why we're resistant to flash. Flash is awesome and it has wonderful things that it does.
Because you can't see it and it becomes hard to.
Yeah, I think
but once
it's
you
hard for
master
folks,
that's where there's a great site out there for learning this.
There is a site. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I think you both teach this stuff on
Yes.
it.
We both teach it on
But
this.
I'm telling you,
site.
that is the way to go with what even you're talking about. Like Dave Black does what he's talking about, where he pops a flash in that's really strobing out there to like capture action, right? Because I think it's what you're trying to do outside. Shutter speed's high. You're trying to capture action.
Yeah, look at all these
But
classes
you
that we have on
can't-
Flash.
You can't just offset it with an LED. Like the LED would have to be so bright that your subject would just get blinded. It'd be like putting a car headlight, you know, like the high beams.
Look at that. There's pages
Coming at
and pages and pages. Now these are full length classes, right? Full length classes. And there's classes on, just everything, on just light shaping. Look at that, lighting for indoor sports portraits. There's Joe McNally on light shaping tools.
Action
Creative
sports
lighting.
photography flash with Dave Black. I think that's what you're talking about here. And that's what he's doing right there. He's outside, he's balancing it, but he's using flash to do that. It's just not going to be possible with LEDs. And even if it was, the LEDs are going to be so overpowering that it's gonna.
Dave Black is so good. Plus, you'll fall in love with Dave Black.
Oh, yeah.
He's
awesome.
a wonderful teacher and just so good at his stuff. He's amazing.
All right, Tracy's asking, would you suggest 1 or 2 flashes for taking sport teams individual pictures indoor arena settings? I could probably already know what your
One
answer's gonna be.
flash. One flash. Tracy, make your life easy. One, especially for individual pictures in an indoor arena, one flash.
If she would have said group, would you?
One flash.
Okay.
With a large,
With a big,
diffuser.
and full power and back it up like 20 feet. Right.
Yeah.
All right.
You want to do it easy. You don't want to
Hey,
have
by
to
the way,
struggle
we have
doing-
classes.
Yeah.
We have classes on group photography. We have classes especially on that. We also, by the way, Tracy, we've got some great classes on sports portraits, like you saw some of those, but I think it was Rob Foldy. Now, Rob Foldy, you realize, is out there shooting for Getty Sports. When you see these amazing sports, like of NFL players and stuff, this is the same guy that does those. So,
Right. Yeah. So that's what's interesting here. Is I think, again, like you said, I think everybody's trying to with lighting. They're going, well, but LED. Just if you master the strobe, you master the one light. Like I remember you did a shot years ago. It was like the helicopter with the pilots in front of the helicopter, and you lit that all. Was that?
yeah, I have that here.
was
Hold
that-
on.
How many flashes did you use for that one?
I'll show you. It was very complicated. Hold on. Black Hawk, I think
yeah,
it
was like a Black Hawk or something like
Yeah,
that.
let me go. I might even have the behind the scenes photo. Is that it? Yeah, let me open it up in Photoshop so you can see it bigger. Well, this is a small version of it, but yeah. So this is, a U.S. Army helicopter rescue team, and you can see it's 11 guys?
Yeah,
9?
11 guys or
No,
so. More than that.
More than that. What's it lit with? One flash.
There you go.
And a big softbox. Big softbox. It was a 53-inch.
See, that's what I do. I remember that because I remember
Yeah.
being like, "That's just one flash."
Yes.
And you're like,
Yeah,
yeah. And I was like,
swans.
yeah, I mean, it makes sense, but wow.
Now, I will say this. These guys here, I had to brighten up their face a little because the light was over here,
Yeah.
right? Because I wanted directional light. You notice the shadows
Yeah.
are on this side of their face. So these guys are all well lit. These guys were a little dark. These guys were really well lit, and then he was okay, and then these guys got a little darker. How long did it take? Paint,
30 seconds.
paint, just make them a
and,
little brighter.
and now I bet with the technologies
Oh,
now,
I would just
it
say
would-
select face, boom.
select faces
And you're done.
Yeah, I
boom,
wouldn't even
done.
have to paint over their faces. It would
Yeah.
it would do it. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, that's it.
There we go. L. Scott Photography is asking, hey, Scott, do you use or recommend a CTO gel on flash for outdoor fill?
Yes, absolutely. When you go outside, when you walk outside, right? So in the studio, we are very used to seeing white light. Indoors, we're just used to, we go outside, we immediately think orange sun. Like if you ask kids to draw the sun, they don't draw the sun white. They always make it yellow or orange, right?
Yes,
Like,
yes. I
so
talked
in
to
our
the other
minds,
day with somebody.
It's
also,
embedded.
yeah, and it looks
is.
weird when you see, and I see this a lot, where someone shot a flash with white light outside. You might as well just put a shirt that said, we used flash, because it just looks flashy. It looks very obvious. If you want the light to look natural, because remember, that's what our goal is with all of this light. We don't want to scream, we use lighting. We want the lighting to look natural. We want you to not notice the lighting. It looks so real and so natural that you don't even think about it. And a lot of people will overlight stuff big time. So, but one thing that will make a big difference is to put that CTO gel. CTO, for those of you, stands simply for color temperature orange. It's just an orange gel. And we'll say, you'll hear people say a quarter cut. All that means is that's a thin gel. That's a little bit of yellow.
Yeah.
And I would put a quarter cut on anytime I walk outside the door. You can leave it on at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 o'clock. Now, as the day gets later and the sun starts going down, your light will start to look white, even with a quarter cut on it. So then you got to take another quarter cut and stick it on top. So now you're at a half.
cut.
And then as the sun goes down further, you might have to take another and another. You might have a
Yeah,
full
full
cut
cut.
by the
Full
end of
cut.
the day.
Yep.
But the word cut just means thickness, right?
Yeah.
So if you could take the word CT away and just say an orange gel, and then say, instead of the word cut, just say thickness, say a quarter thickness. They just make up these words that,
Yeah.
you know, you need a quarter cut of CTO. Oh God, what's that?
Where's
You
the
need a-
C47?
You, need a
You got
thin
any
orange
C47s?
gel.
Yeah,
I
it makes
need
it
a
difficult.
thin orange gel is all you need. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for asking that, L. Scott.
Yeah, and that's a good point to make too with photography, is making sure that light is the color that your light is reproducible to what our eyes think
Eyes
it
can
is.
see it, yeah.
Right? Because that's one thing. Going back to the eclipse, I had somebody arguing with me. Well, the sun is white.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, people don't see the sun as white, and that's why it's supposed to have some oranges
Yes.
and some yellow to it.
Yeah.
So I intentionally shoot the sun that way
Then
to
later in
put
the
in.
day, it gets orange.
Milky Way.
Orange.
Yeah.
The Milky Way is very orangey green if you shoot it technically to science.
Mm-hmm.
But you show that to people and they're like, that doesn't look right.
doesn't
It
look
feels
right.
sickly.
Yeah.
It feels wrong.
It's a sickly thing.
Yep. All right. So Lon is asking, I'm about to start shooting wrestling under a spotlight. Where should I place my off-camera flash?
Under the spot.
So I was
All right.
trying to start shooting wrestling
Yeah,
under a spotlight.
Okay, first, Lon, I would try to get away with not using flash at all. If you can get away without using flash, number one is they may not allow flash. That may be number one.
Yeah.
Because if the wrestlers have a flash popping in their face, they're probably not going to be too happy about it. So first is that's number one. Number two, if you already have a spotlight, why are you adding a flash? Right now, if you feel like I just have to add a flash, a lot of times it just depends. A lot of times they'll let you mount them in the roof of the arena, but you're already under a spotlight. So your flash is just going to be maybe filling in the shadows. I don't know. I've shot a lot of sporting events, a lot of them. And then these are all pro sports I'm shooting, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have shot a couple of high school games and a lot of college games, but I've shot everything from motorsports to NBA to NFL they never let you use a flash. Now, at hockey, they let the team photographer use flashes that are mounted in the ceiling. All the other photographers
Or NBA too,
no.
yeah.
NBA too. But all the other people that are not the team photographer, no. I'm thinking, Lon, I'm leaving it at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now again, maybe you're at the point where you're starting shooting wrestling instead of thing where you have a
Instead of high school,
relationship
nobody
and it's a high
cares.
school.
I don't know.
Maybe you would add just the flash where the spotlight to kind of boost it up. I
Yeah,
don't know.
or maybe they don't care about
Maybe,
using the flash.
yeah.
But there's nobody that really
I
is going to get
will
on
say
you.
that it sounds interesting if you are shooting under spotlight that you would get very directional harsh
Lights,
light, which would work good for sports.
Yeah.
It would work good for an athlete.
Yeah.
It would
Because
work
that would
good.
make it more dramatic.
Dramatic, yeah. So,
But
I
I-
would think we'd want to put your light where it would overemphasize the dramaticism.
I think
Bring
that
out
if
the
you,
dramatics.
like, for example, if you showed up at a hockey game and you pulled out your own flash and you started shooting, it would be just moments before one of the other photographers reaches through the glass, grabs a hockey stick, comes and beats you to death with a hockey stick, and then they
Absolutely.
hand it back to and the hockey player would give it to him. They'd go, here, take this, that guy's got
Yeah.
flash. And they'd
Chances are you're not going to get much shot after
beat you
that.
to death.
Yeah.
What's Hal say here?
So Hal's asking, Scott, are you making any updated classes on creating blurb books?
So here's the thing, Hal. They haven't changed a dang thing in books in years. In years, they added
module, yeah.
one little checkbox. I think. Hal, they haven't added it. Now, if they added anything new, I would love to go do that class again. But I've got a number of them. I have one just for wedding photographers who are doing their wedding books in Lightroom. And I got a bunch of layouts and ideas. In fact, I did a class that is nothing but layouts and ideas for wedding photography.
Which might be a good place to go look if you're thinking, well, maybe you haven't watched that class, Hal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that'd be a great class to go watch because maybe that would help spark some ideas and spark some
Yeah,
different things.
put in photo books, and we
Yeah.
can see it here. It was actually, the class came out really good. I was really proud of that class. You have classes that you particularly like. So there's making beautiful photo books, and that one, there's nothing that's changed in there.
Yeah.
And then it is, keep going. I'm looking for the one. There it is. Designing beautiful wedding albums in Lightroom Classic.
Yeah, and you wish
So-
it would have changed in all these years.
Yeah,
but it has not.
just hit play. You're not going to be able to hear it, right? But I think is this the trailer?
No, that's the first lesson.
Oh, it's the first lesson. Okay,
And there's
there's
younger
me.
Scott.
That's younger Scott. No, I look the same exactly, and the same amount of hair too. Stop laughing. Christina is laughing. Holy crap! Wow, wow.
Do we need to talk to her after this?
We're gonna yes,
We
we
keep
need
it
to
real on the group.
really. She's laughing. That was just mean.
Look at that designing with type class. That was a wide angle shot right there you took.
Yeah, that was. Yeah,
Well,
that's
anyways.
not the trailer. There's a trailer out there for it somewhere.
Yes, definitely check out that class.
All right, we're over time for a break because we need to talk with Christina briefly. So we're gonna. Oh, she's laughing again now. She won't be laughing in a minute. We'll be back. Lenworth is here. We're still taking your questions, so please drop them in the comments, and we'll be right back.
Well, you know who looking like this for real. Well, you know who looking like that. Well, you know who looking like this for real. Well, you know who looking like that.
Hello, I'm Lenworth Johnson, and I'm very excited to be here doing my first class at KelbyOne. Now I'm going to teach you how to take your images from start to finish with lights, beauty dishes, V-flats, tethered to a computer with Capture One, Capture Pilot, so my makeup artist can follow through. So creating beauty portraits, fashion images. I enjoy doing beauty photography because I like being around people. I think I'm different from other photographers because of the way I shoot. I work with a mood board and I follow that mood board from start to finish to create whatever look I'm going for. And I'm working closely with my team. So creating a team is the way to go if you want to elevate those images. And that's the way I do it to separate me from the crowd. So in this class, I'm going to take you through how to create impactful images from start to finish. So come join me in my latest class at KelbyOne.com.
I am a portrait and wedding photographer based in Valencia, Spain.
I do mainly commercial and editorial photography, and I retouch up to 100 photos a month.
We shoot almost every day for all kinds of clients, such as commercial, beauty, and fashion. And we retouch our work more often, like every other day.
I used to spend over 1 hour for one photo.
If we want professional results, we must remove skin blemishes, do micro dodge and burn, highlight eyes, whiten teeth, and even reduce wrinkles in clothes. And this can easily take me up to 2 hours of work for each photo.
So when I saw that there's a plugin for Photoshop that helps you retouch quicker, I was eager to get my hands on it.
I read many feedbacks about it, and I found a lot of positive reviews, which made me to consider buying my first plugin.
One of the challenges we have at the end of a session or wedding is to achieve an edition in our photograph that look natural. This is where retouch for me has become a game changer.
I love the feature that you can pick how much effect it has on your photo, and you can adjust it accordingly to your style.
I saved a lot of time and always end up having amazing result with my work.
I am extremely happy with the quality.
Now I am more efficient and have more time to spare with my family.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Platy Pod, the world's most compact tripod base.
I'm hooked.
It's amazing.
Hey, we're back. Scott and Lenworth and Erik. Oh, hey, look what I found.
Oh, there you go.
Look.
That's it.
Look at
That
it's
is
one
the behind the
Yes.
scenes production
one
picture.
light.
Yeah.
One light. There it is. That's an Elechrome 53-inch MIDI Octa. And that is a, what you call it? Just a rolling C-stand.
Rolling stand, yep.
And that's me,
Yeah, I
a
remember
rare
that.
picture of me on my knees. Don't look for that often. And you can see it's the light. Look how far back it is,
Yeah. Fills
Right.
up that scene.
right? And you need, that's because you number one, you need to try to evenly light as many
Yeah.
people as possible. When you get it real close to them, the light will fall off really fast.
Yeah.
So they'll be bright, they'll be darker, 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 darker. In an effort to light them as evenly as possible, you move the softbox back, you turn the power up, and this is a battery pack. So you hanging off, you can't really see it, but hanging off that thing is the battery pack for that light. Now they finally just came out with a battery powered light like everyone in the world has had for years. I've since moved on from Elechrome. Do you know why I moved on from Elechrome? One of the reasons was they didn't have that.
Yep.
They didn't have a self-contained light with a battery pack. So the standard that everybody uses today is it's all self-contained. Now the ones that I use today are from Westcott, and you know what's interesting about their lights? They're the same price as a flash, but it's a real studio strobe with a giant battery that lasts forever. And literally, because you buy a nice flash today, a Canon, a Nikon flash, they're like $700 for one of their high-end flashes.
Get you a strobe.
Get a strobe. Get a strobe, and then
Yeah, I think you know if you're getting into this, definitely get a
Yeah,
strobe
get you a
rather than a
strobe.
flash. It's
especially
more
because
versatile.
It's more versatile,
Future-proof,
and they're
all
not
that stuff.
and they're not big. They're about this big. They're lightweight. You can get two of them in a backpack. A lot of them will come with the backpack and stuff and all that.
You'll thank us later.
You'll thank us later.
Yeah.
Got a question here from
So
Pauline.
all right, Pee Wee's asking.
Pee Wee.
I recently shot a volleyball game, and the lighting was okay, which is usually going to happen. But I had to raise my ISO quite a bit and wound up with the decent amount of denoising. Well, a decent amount, I'm guessing, noise and suggestions. If you're not using on one no noise or something like that, that's exactly what you're going to do, because I'm telling you that will rescue. I could be up at 12,800, 25,000, and it's going to take it down. That 12,800 shot ends up looking like an ISO like 800 shot.
Yeah.
At the end.
So so the problem is you're trying to freeze action.
Yeah,
if
you
you're
have to
if
do
you're
it.
shooting volleyball in the day, it's
Yeah.
volleyball, right?
Volleyball, yeah.
Volleyball in the day, out in daylight, it shouldn't be an
Yeah.
issue. If you're shooting
Indoors?
inside a gym, you're going to be shooting at a very high ISO because you're trying to get to 1/1000th of a second to freeze the action
Freeze
for
that
volleyball.
moment.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're going to be living in the world of I need to. Now, I will tell you this, Pee Wee. The only people in the world that care about noise
Other photographers.
Lenworth and Erik and
Other
me and other photographers. The public doesn't care about noise. They don't even notice noise.
And if you
right?
if you use those noise reduction tools nowadays, like on no noise, it will take the noise down to where even some photographers won't notice it.
Yeah, they are the AI stuff.
But
that
for
they're
general
doing.
public or your clients or the people that actually would buy the photo, they will not care once, especially if you run the denoise. Like once you run the denoise, it would print out fine. It almost takes the noise down so much that even when you print it out, it just smooths it out.
Now, Pee-wee, if you're shooting in RAW, you can go into Lightroom without buying a plugin.
Yeah.
And there's
You
a
can.
built-in noise thing. It's the best thing that Adobe's ever done for noise because all of their noise reduction over the years has been
Yeah, it was junk.
crap.
Junk.
It was crap.
But this new one is 80% of what the
The
what,
Capture
like,
One
no
also
noise
has
and
that
all
denoise
stuff.
thing now too.
It's about 80.
Capture One has
80%.
it now, but
Yeah.
come on, who's
Yeah.
using Capture One? Come on. Lenworth, you're not using Capture One.
It's a great question.
Busted. He was busted live on the air.
So
Now, I will say this.
I started
Fine,
using
it's
Capture One
great.
because I was on Sony and we had issues with
Oh,
Lightroom.
Right.
So
Okay. Well,
yeah.
Capture One is
That makes sense.
heavily
Yeah.
used in fashion photography.
Yeah.
That's kind of the only place that it lives. Really, is there in any big numbers.
Yeah.
But so we're going to absolve you of that, and because we like you, we're also going to absolve you of using inferior.
And I
software.
understand why you're using Sony. Sony's great. I love Sony stuff.
No, but now, if you, Lenworth, just so you know, if you wanted to use Lightroom, and I know that you secretly do.
I do use Lightroom.
There you go. But if you wanted to like tether to it and stuff, you can tether to it using a piece of software from Tether Tools called Smart Shooter 4.
I just saw
And
them with
it
that.
lets you do it natively inside of Lightroom. So it's a little plug-in for Lightroom that lets you just shoot straight into Lightroom.
Okay, cool.
But unfortunately, Sony, I guess, has some kind of a partnership deal with Capture One, so they won't give Lightroom the code, the necessary whatever, to hook into Tether, because Nikon and Canon do it no problem.
Yeah.
And honestly, Lightroom has improved their tethering a ridiculous amount. By the way, for those of you who aren't familiar with what tethering is, it's where you shoot directly from your camera right into Lightroom. So you see everything appear on screen at like 15 inches, right?
Yeah.
Tethering
So,
meaning the cable between
Yeah.
the
Cable
camera.
tether.
That little orange cable.
yeah, a USB cable. Now your camera comes with a USB cable, right? So you can use the one that came with your camera, or people go to a website called tethertools.com, and it's a whole site dedicated to just tethering. And the orange ones, if you see an orange one, you know it came from Tether Tools, right?
Yep.
And everybody that tethers uses them. That's kind of their thing. All right, Carla.
Carla, what strobe would you recommend? I think you kind of did, but
I
what would you-
recommended the Westcott FJ 400s.
Those are pretty decent.
They're
yeah.
very good. You use the Godox for the
Godox,
money.
yeah.
Hard to beat.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
very, very good.
Very good.
So either one
And
of those.
they're pretty
yeah.
solid too, because I've dropped mine like twice and it's still rolling.
So which Godox would you recommend?
I have the 600 Pro and the 400s.
Yeah.
I would start with the 400. That
Yeah.
would be a good
You're
start. Yeah.
indoors, you're probably
Yeah.
never going to get anywhere near using 400 watts.
Yeah.
Kim's asking, which modifier best simulates window lighting that doesn't spill all over the place?
That would be like a large.
Yeah, it's gotta be something large.
Large, maybe 4x6, 4x8 rectangular softbox.
Well, I was going to say, what you could do is, because rectangular is the key word, you can just get a scrim.
Yeah, or a scrim.
You can buy a
diffusion
scrim,
material. Yeah.
diffusion material, and you can buy it in a rectangular shape, and a lot of people make them, and then just shoot a flash right through it to simulate,
Window lighting, yeah.
window light and stuff. So it really, to be honest with you, it's not so much about the softbox. It really is how you position it. It's like, so the window light that we want is a north-facing window, right? Because north-facing windows don't really, the light comes through, but the beam
diffuse.
doesn't come through. It's the softest, most beautiful, right? It's what the Dutch masters use to paint those paintings, and they're the ones that made window light a thing. So it really is about, like, if I was going to do a window light portrait of someone, I would actually set, like, if I was the subject, I'd put a big softbox right here. And I would move them to the edge of the softbox so they get the softest, most beautiful, most wrapping light. And I wouldn't use a lot of light power. Like, I would use very, very low, like 1/8 power on a really large softbox. And it's not going to spill all over the place
1/8
because
power. What do you mean 1/8 power? What is that?
1/8, very, very, very low. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, like a 2.
I just wish it was just
1 to 10. I know, it's ridiculous.
I know.
Now, so picture here I am. The softbox is directly beside me. Which way is the softbox aiming? That way. So only the edge of the light's going to fall on me, which the softest light is at the very, very edge. The light's aiming that way, and you can make it look like window light. It's really not so much about the particular softbox, though bigger will make it better. And also, I would get that light as close as I can get to my subject without you seeing it in the frame.
Yeah.
Because the softest light will come from that. Now, there's all kinds of classes here on natural light portraits, but I think you're talking about using strobes, right? You want to use you want a window light look, but using strobes. So.
Just get it real close, and as soon as you're about to see, just pull it back just enough where it's not showing on the frame.
No, that's exactly the technique. You go, wait, nope, pull it back. Right there, right there.
Yep.
Well, we're ready to wrap up. We've got a
some
bunch of prizes. Let's go.
So, Kent Petard is winning the Platy Pod goosenecks. Then we have Craig Jacquart is winning the V flat. So awesome, winning the V flat. And then Patty Foster is winning the How Do I Do That in Photoshop book. Amy Cusack is winning the Adobe Photoshop for Digital Photographers book. Harold DeLozer is winning the On1 software plugin. And then Tim Bird is won the Retouch for Me software.
We're so happy when people win with easy names like Tim Bird.
And there you go. And then just email us over there at gridprize@KelbyOne.com and claim your prize by this Friday. We'll verify your information, send you out your prize.
Congratulations, guys.
Yeah. All right, Lenworth, where can people go learn more about you besides watching your classes on KelbyOne, including your new class? Where can they go?
Instagram, Lenworth.Johnson. You can follow me there for everything new, latest. And if you're on LinkedIn.
Yes.
Odd places.
LinkedIn.
I'm on LinkedIn too. And
yes, you are. He's on
where
LinkedIn.
Scott's like, I've seen a lot of your work over there.
God, you know what? LinkedIn, though, I swear, I get people that ask me to join, they want to connect with you. And as soon as you say yes, they hit you up with a sales pitch.
Oh, that's it.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's the worst. It is like you're signing up for spam.
Yes.
But look at these shots.
Talk about retouchers. LinkedIn, they'll kill you on there.
Oh God.
Oh yeah. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, if you're using that technique, just stop.
Go follow Lenworth.
Yes. Yeah, go follow me. I need those followers up.
He needs the followers. Go follow him right now.
Lenworth.
There he is.
Johnson.
Yeah.
Lenworth.Johnson on Instagram. All right, well, Lenworth, thank you very much for being on the show.
It's good to be here.
This is your second time on the show?
Third time.
Third time?
Yeah.
Wow, all right.
So I'm official family member now?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're in. You're in like Flynn. And you know what's nice? Now that you've been here 3 times, if you mention your age, people in the studio will laugh at you.
I figured that.
At a certain point, they start laughing publicly.
Yeah, I figured that, so I won't say that.
Yeah, don't show any old clips from his older classes.
No, I won't talk to Christina about it.
Yeah, no, don't. It's a rough crowd here, man. Rough crowd.
And she's still laughing at us.
Oh, she's still laughing over there. It's very sad.
Just dignified.
All right, what's going on next week? We anything going on next week?
We got a grid next week. We do have a grid.
Yeah, I better be on it. Not like, oh, I'm homesick with a cold. Hey, did we do our shout outs today?
Yeah. No,
we did?
Maybe.
No.
But we need to wrap. We do need to wrap.
Oh, come on. We can do the shout outs.
Okay, well, we did have a bunch of people joining us. We had somebody from, we had Dave joining us from San Diego, Sharon saying hi from SoCal. I'm getting a note to something about Jefferson Graham is on next week. So we'll have Jefferson Graham.
Is he here?
Jefferson.
Yeah, and then
Skyping in. Okay.
Oh yeah, he's got a new
not
course.
As good.
He's got a good course over there. A new course on shooting with your smartphones.
Yeah. Is this camera safe? Are they still taking his cameras?
No, I don't think he's been back to San Francisco since.
Yeah,
But
that
he
makes
did
you
have
not
his,
want to go back.
yeah.
They haven't stolen any of his gear.
Sharon B is saying hi from SoCal.
SoCal.
Roy Evans
Sharon.
saying hi from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Scott Thomas saying hi from all the way in the UK. Tom Sheehan is saying hi.
Hey, Tom. I know Tom.
And
we can't see anymore. 'cause
that's about where it ends. And then George Smith saying hi. Tony Mitchell saying hi from Duluth. Deb saying hi from SoCal.
Deb. Hey, Deb. How are
John
you?
saying hi from the UK. Dan saying hi all the way from Zurich.
Zurich in the
people joining us
house.
all
Wow.
over the world.
All right.
It's pretty
And
cool.
We're glad you're here.
Well, thanks to Lenworth. Always great to have you on the show.
Good.
Third time for Lenworth, by the way. Go catch his classes. Go follow him on Instagram. Go stalk him on Instagram.
Yes. You don't want to miss my new class, by the way. It's going to be epic.
Epic?
There you go,
All right,
epic.
all right.
Yeah.
All right, thanks to our sponsors, and thanks to all of you. And Christina and, well, forget that. Oh, Joey. All right. We'll catch you guys next week with Jefferson here on The Grid. Take care, everybody.
The Grid is brought to you by Platy Pod, the tripod alternative that is changing the world. Everybody has a Platy Pod. You should too. Go to platypod.com.